Next group of speakers will be individual citizens or students, and our first speaker is Ralph Jaffe.
And Tracy Gover for their professionalism that they have extended to me. It's greatly appreciated. I also want you to know that I'm not here to ask you for money. This program I'm talking about, the Tutor Mentor Teen Education Program, is designed to save lives. And by the way, there have been many people have called Brenda and Tracy say that they want this program implemented. And the last 20 phone calls have said they want Dr. Rogers to meet with Jaffe. And this program isn't going to cost the taxpayers 1 penny. And I'd also like to now mention some of the projects that we've been involved in my teaching experiences, which started back in 1969. I mentioned previously I pioneered a new teaching device called Activism in the Classroom. 11 months later, it was signed into law by Richard Nixon, documented in 1970 edition, January 1970 edition, Reader's Digest. I mention these things to you not to brag, but to prove to you I know what I'm talking about. I know what good teaching is all about. I have the evidence to prove it. And I sent you what I call my credibility papers, which shows and discusses, mentions all the projects and all the notable personalities involved in these projects. People like John Unitas, National Football Hall of Fame. We didn't ask him for his autograph, we asked him for his help. Brooks Robinson, National Hall of Fame. Lenny Moore, National Football Hall of Fame. Bren Bradley, the executive editor of the Washington Post. A movie was made called All the President's Men, which starred Ben Bradley's, with his person who played him was Jason Robards, who got an Academy Award. And we didn't ask Mr. Bradley for his autograph, we asked him to help us. So this is what these programs are designed to do. When I was at Parkville Senior High School, we had 2 pieces of legislation introduced. One was a Seeing Eye Dogs bill, which would help people who are blind to use their dogs in public facilities. That was a ban on non-returnable bottles. We also established what's called People for Community Action, a drug counseling center for students who had all kinds of different problems with drugs. It received over $150,000 in government grants. So was that the bill? I know what I'm talking about. And remember, there have been at least over 120 people that have called you. It's one thing to ignore me, but these are people that you're also...
Mr. Jaffe, may I ask you a question, please? I'm trying to understand. I appreciate your persistent advocacy for your program, and I want to understand where the roadblock is. Right.
Who am I talking to?
This is Vice Chair Harvey.
What's your question, please?
My question is, I want to understand where the roadblock is to your program. Is it the case that you submitted an application and you haven't gotten a response?
The problem is they've told me, I've been told, that we won't even consider your program until you go through their training program. And I said to them the following. Originally, I said I wasn't going to do that, but I'm a flexible, reasonable guy. So here's what I said. You commit to the program, I'll take the tutor, mentor, or whatever you want to call it, program. The reason I'm so annoyed about this, I've been mentoring people all my adult life. I think I know as much about tutor mentoring as anybody. I'm going to go through this program. They told me they won't even consider this until I go through their program.
Okay, thank you for that feedback. This process usually starts with an application, so I'm going to ask Dr. Rogers to make sure that you get one before you leave today so that they can fully vet your program, include the information that you provided based on your application.
And also, you let them know about all the phone calls. People said they want Dr. Rogers to meet with me. These are people that are willing to take the time and trouble to tell you this.
I appreciate that. We'll take that into consideration, but Dr. Rogers, can you make sure that Mr. Jaffe gets an application prior to his leaving today? Thank you, sir, for your comments.
By the way, I did send you, I filled it out, that application. I do believe, in fact, I gave you an outline. I gave you an outline about this, and for 3 or 4 months, they couldn't even find it. This was given to you about in November of 2023. I gave you the outline.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Our next speaker is Shanita Key. Please let me know if I've mispronounced your name.